NZ Warriors family, the bye this week. The New Zealand Warriors currently sitting second on the table. Can you believe it? With the 2 points we've got from the bye. All we need is a few results to go our way this week, and we could stay there heading into the game against the Storms next week. But for now, sit back with me and let's take a look at how our forwards and our bench have gone through the first 4 rounds of 2025. Starting out with one of our captains, James Fisher-Harris. Let's take a moment to think back to 2024 when it was first announced AFB was leaving. Everyone was so down on themselves, we had no idea how we were going to possibly get another prop to fill that gap. But who would have thought, out of the blue, the Fish, wanting to reconnect with his whakapapa and his whānau here in New Zealand, decides to leave the Panthers. For once, the compassionate grounds card worked in our favour. Listening to what our coaches and his teammates have said about him since he's been here throughout that off-season, he doesn't say a lot, but he just leads by his actions. We'll be talking about when the boys were away on camp. The finish for the day, Fish is out there doing his extras, never said anything to anybody, but all the young boys gravitated out there and did those extras with him. That's the thing we need, is him setting the standard, and I think he's done that through the first 4 rounds. He's not delivering 180 metres a game like AFB used to, but what he's delivering is a sense of intensity, setting a standard out there that our boys are following. He hasn't had the hugest run meters, as you can see, only delivering an average of 123 run meters, but the hard runs, he runs with intensity. But I honestly feel like his biggest impact is on defense, his line speed, his aggression, his manipulation in the ruck, the ability to wind those other players up, hold them down, the dark arts. I think that's something he's really brought to our club. But more than anything, I just think it's that winning attitude and that experience is setting the standard for all these young boys coming through the club. As far as ratings go, I've given him an 8.5, and some people may think that's a little bit low. So just a reminder, this ranking system is basically out of 10. It's my feeling about how they've delivered based on their potential, based on what I could have expected from them in the first 4 rounds. There's no science to it. It's all gut feel. The only reason I'm not giving him a 9 is the fact we got our asses handed to us in Vegas. He wouldn't have been happy with that effort. A lot of our senior players wouldn't have. So I had to drop him down half a point there. But for the next 3 games, he's been absolutely outstanding. There's not a heck of a lot more I could have expected from him. I just hope he stays fit. From now on in, for me, it's about him maintaining this level of intensity, bringing the others up around him, rising those tides, and lifting the whole level of professionalism across our club. I'm really looking forward to him to do that over the rest of the 2025 season. Next up, we've got Wade Egan. He had an outstanding season in 2023. He was in the mix for Origin, or at least in the conversations. Last year, I think he was a lot quieter. A lot of people sort of think he may have passed his best. I got to be honest, at times I was one of them. But this year in 2025, he has come out completely rejuvenated. He is absolutely dominating in that ruck. But to be fair, I think we've got to give a lot of that credit to our middle forwards. They've been dominating our opposition, giving him front foot ball that he can use. But that said, I think we've got to have him take it to an even bigger level over the coming weeks. Losing Dylan Walker after just 3 games is a huge out for us. He was so key to our attack. I think we need Wade Egan to really step it up and even be a bigger voice, drive that team around. I want to see him being Cam Smith-like throughout the rest of the season, and I think he's got more than enough ability to do it. That said, from what we've seen over the first 4 rounds, I'm giving him a 9 out of 10. He's running way more than we saw from him last year. Averaging 91 running meters a game. He was down about 30 meters a game last season. I think that's key. He gets us on the front foot, and a couple of times when he's been able to offload, it's led to tries. So I really hope he continues that. I'd still love to see him get that kicking game. I've said it for 3 years now. I know he's got it in his arsenal because all of the talk was when he used to be a halfback at the Panthers. He had a great kicking game, so maybe we see that. I think that's one thing that Api and Harry Grant have over him at the moment. I'd love to see him add that to his game. Another point for me is playing 80 minutes every game. I don't think that's sustainable for a whole season, so at some point I'm really looking forward to seeing Sam Healey come in and spell him. I want to see what he can offer as well. I think that 1-2 punch could be crazy with the speed both those boys have got. But overall, I couldn't have asked for much more from Big Wade Egan. Well done, and I hope we continue to give him that platform to play off, particularly against the Storms next week. Mitch Barnett, our other co-captain, the big voice out of the 2 between him and Fish. I think he's definitely one of those leaders who's got a huge voice and has a huge impact on the field. It's a strange one for Mitch this year. A couple of games he's felt like he's been a little bit up and down, hasn't quite delivered the same kind of numbers, but in reality he did. Perhaps that's just an indication we're using him in a slightly different way. He was playing upwards of 70-odd, 75 minutes at some stages last year. This year only averaging 52 minutes. I think 123 average running meters and about 33 tackles a game, but all of his runs and all of his tackles have an impact. I love the way he leads the line speed. I don't know where he gets that motor from, man. In the back ends of a half when he's out there, he's the one who leads the charge every time we've got the opposition pinned on their own line. He might miss the odd one, but I think it's vital that we get up there really quick and try and put that shoulder into them and stop them, keep them on their line. So I hope he continues to maintain this level of intensity throughout the whole season. Be interesting to see if he's still in the mix for State of Origin this year. I think he's definitely delivering at a level that he justifies it, and he's got the right kind of hard-nosed attitude, so we could see him in blue for all 3 games in 2025. I've given him an 8.5 because I just feel like there's something slightly down from last year. I don't know what it is other than his minutes, but I don't think there's a heck of a lot more he could do, so he's very close to a 9, and some people may even give him more, but still a very, very hearty effort from our captain. Kurt Capewell, a mixed bag for me with him. He's an Origin player. He's a guy who I expect a huge amount of, senior player, getting paid a big amount of money, no doubt. Some of the things he does extremely well. Other things, he lets me down a little bit. So I'm a bit torn on this, particularly with these young edge-back rowers we've got coming through. I think he's going to have to stay on his toes to maintain his position. But for now, what I have liked about him, he has showed some good line speed. He has put on some decent hits, but he's missed a total of 25 tackles, and I think he missed about 11 in one of the trial games. We've really got to sort that out. It's great to have line speed, but if you're making that miss, it makes it a lot more difficult for your teammates around you. So that's something I really need him to step up and improve, and that's one of the things that's had a big impact on me, only giving him 7.5 out of 10. Still credible. He's still doing a good job out there, but I'd still like to see him hitting the line a bit more, taking a couple more runs, and definitely making more of his tackles, because if he doesn't, I think Jacob Laban is ready to step up there. He's killing it in Cup. He killed it in the Indigenous game. So all the pressure's on you, brother. You can't just maintain that position on seniority. I reckon he'll respond, though. You wouldn't want to have to see him playing in New South Wales Cup, and I doubt he would want to too, so I reckon he's going to step up and smash it up as we build towards Origin. Marata Niukore is an interesting one for me. I felt like he struggled at times last year. He definitely didn't deliver at the same level he did in 2023. I don't think that's all on him. The injuries, the constant changing of the half combinations, different people inside and outside him would have had an impact on that. But this year, what I have liked, while he hasn't made too many line breaks, what he has done is hit the ball extremely hard, taking 3 or 4 defenders to stop him, running hard at the opposition edge-back rowers and halves. To our edge-back rowers' credit, we took Olakalotu and Angus Crichton out of their respective games. They've both been dominating throughout this year, but they had very little impact when they were dealing with us. So that's a credit to both Marata and Kurt Capewell. So a lot of people calling for Leka to play bigger minutes and bring him on off earlier, maybe play him in the middle, but I feel like people underestimate the amount of energy he sucks out of our opposition with the way he hits the line and hits on defense. He sets it up nicely, so when Leka's coming on, he's playing against tight edges and he's able to make those line breaks. So I really like what he's doing. I just want to see him try and hit a couple more holes. We finally saw him get a try the other day. Somehow we've got to get him onto those inside shoulders and make a couple of line breaks because he's more than capable. This is the only reason I've dropped him down to 8. I feel like there's a little bit more in him. At some stage, I do think we will see Leka Halasima getting more time there. We may see him getting a few minutes in the middle. And I feel like that's going to be a good role for him going forward. Having that explosive energy and speed from Leka out wide is going to be a real point of difference. That gives us a great chance to use Marata's experience and power through the middle, I reckon, but no idea if that happens at any stage soon. At this stage, Erin Clark is clearly leading the way in the fans' vote for the player of the first 4 rounds. I think he's blown everyone away by his contribution. Like I've said in previous videos, when we let Jazz go and we signed him, a lot of people were pissed off. They called him a Timu Jazz, but we can see by his output, he has really stepped up. A lot of us were worried about how we'd cover Tohu's work rate when he retired. Erin Clark has really stepped up and delivered in that area, particularly now losing Dylan Walker. He's going to have to play bigger minutes. He's got a much bigger role to play, and I feel like he's going to step up and do it. He's not a huge guy as far as height goes, but he's like a tank. Man, he's built across the chest. Saw him for the first time in person against the Roosters the other week. Man, he looks like a cartoon character. What I've liked from him, though, is he just goes straight. Averaging 152 metres through the middle with 59 post-contact is an outstanding effort. His metres and his post-contact metres are quite similar to what Tohu was doing in 70 minutes. Granted, Tohu was making about 150 tackles a game, but I still really like what Erin Clark's doing. A couple of people in my posts have criticised his line defence at times. Maybe he's dropped off the odd tackle, but he's not the only one. We've seen a number of tries come this year from opposition forwards bouncing off our middles and getting over for a try. I'm sure they'll be working on that over the bye round because we're definitely going to get questioned next week up against the Storms. But for now, I'm 100% happy with what this guy's done and can't wait to see what he can do through the rest of the year. Jackson Ford is an unsung hero for me. There's so much talk about how well Awesome Fish is, what he's brought to the club, what Wade Egan is doing, how much better Clark is than everyone expected. Leka and Demitric both getting massive raps, but this guy goes under the radar. So often criticised for giving away silly penalties, having those errors. So far through 4 games, just the 1 error and 2 6 games, no penalties. He's really stepped it up. His numbers are right up there with Erin Clark. I feel like he's one of the most impactful middle forwards in the comp right now, and a genuine point of difference. His combination with Leka and Demitric means that we've got one of the most explosive 1-2-3 punches. He's going to be a huge part of any success we have in 2025 and well worthy of a 9 out of 10 based on what I thought he could deliver from us through the first 4 rounds. One of my favourites from the next-gen superstars coming through. He was my pick to be the breakout player of 2025, and I think he's really delivering. More people seem to be hyped about Leka because he's getting those big runs, playing out wide. He's got a bit more space, but I think the work that Demitric does when he comes on, some of his runs, 10 or 12 post-contact metres with 4 middle forwards hanging off him, he's an absolute beast. I can't wait to see him continue to get more minutes. Given another 12 to 18 months of regular footy, I think he's going to be one of the best bench forwards in the comp. Absolutely stoked with what he's delivered so far this year. Leka Halasima, hasn't he blown a few people's minds? He's definitely getting the Warriors a little bit of attention. That try last week, wow. For a guy who plays middles and edge, running like a winger, that's a massive point of difference for us, having that speed coming off the bench. Just wait till you see Demitric in open space. He's got very similar speed and balance as well. Some of the tries he scored and set up in Cup last year were very similar to what we saw from Leka last week. So back in the day, we had the Bald brothers with Jazz and Dylan. Now we have to come up for a name for these 2 Bulls with the Afro mullets. Not sure what it's going to be. Hit me up with your ideas in the comments. Even at only 19, I knew Leka was going to get a lot more game this season, but I honestly didn't expect him to be on the bench every week. And barring injury, I think he stays there for the rest of the season. I don't know if I want to push up the minutes too much higher, and I don't know if I want him to start unless we've got injuries, because I think we've got to bear in mind that it's a 19-year-old body he's out there running in. I think there's a slight risk in overplaying young guys in this kind of level of footy, that it could lead to injuries later on in their career, but I'm sure Webby and our conditioners know a lot more about that than me. So 9 out of 10 for him. Can't wait to see him back out there against the Storms. Last but not least, Bunty Afoa. A little bit of criticism from fans when he came back in this week. I've got to admit, I was a little bit concerned, but he certainly stepped up and showed a lot more output than he did in 2024. First time I've seen him run over 100 metres in the NRL for a while. Overall, he did his fundamental job, but we left him out there for a few minutes too long. He left that gap between him and Demitric and Marker and allowed that try to run through untouched, but I'm sure he'll be working on that. I wonder if they'll continue to play in there against the Storms. I think they will, because the Storm have got such a big forward pack, but I think we'll see that position rotate to other players, potentially seeing guys like Sam Healey and Eddie Edemir Toyava, Jacob Laban, or even Freddie Lussick coming in depending on who the opposition is. We may even see Chanel Harris-Tavita go to that 14 role, maybe Tamaide or Tanner Boyd get a run in the halves. So don't expect to see Bunty there every week for the rest of the season. I also think, had he been available, Tom Ali may have been the guy to get this shot. He was absolutely killing it in Cup before he did his ankle, running for about 180 metres every week. So I'm really curious to see who gets that 17 jersey every week over the coming months. Overall, I'm really ecstatic with what our forwards have delivered. We've dominated most of the packs we've come up against. We've won the middle. We're winning field position. We're leading the comp in completion rates, post-contact metres and overall metres. What more could you want from your pack? But we're going to have to take it to a new level up against the Storms next week. They've got a huge pack. We know the spine they've got. We've got to do what we did against Manly and take the time away from Harry Grant, Hughes, Munster and Pappenhausen. Otherwise, we could have a tough night out there. Let me know your thoughts, guys. If you haven't voted already, give me your vote for the player of the first 4 rounds. I'll be doing an awards video over the next couple of days. Enjoy the weekend. Don't forget Jersey Flag on Saturday, SG Ball and Harold Matts on Sunday. This is the last game for SG Ball. Harold Matts, if we win this, we win the minor premiership, heading into those finals with a real chance of going back to back. Up the mighty New Zealand Warriors next gen. Let's get it.